Hello, all you wonderful people out in YouTube land, and welcome to the Dollar Store Pour. Thank you so much for joining me. It is a beautiful day to paint, so let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? So the inspiration for today's paint, I was out in the yard doing a little yard work, a little gardening earlier this week, and of course it's that time of year. And I saw a few bumblebees, honeybees flying by doing their honeybee thing. And so I thought, two colors. What do you think of when you think bees? Black and yellow stripes. So I've got the black and I've got the yellow. Now the yellow has, well, they both have the PVA glue. The yellow has the alcohol in it. And I'm trying something new. The black has this leather protector, for shoes, gloves, jackets, handbags, what have you. There's no indication of what exactly is inside of that, and I couldn't find online any indication either. Now, where it's a waterproofing, I'm assuming it's silicone. There's got to at least be some silicone in it, so, we'll see what happens. Of course, it is also highly flammable. So when I torch this might get really interesting. So anyway, let's go ahead and get some paint on the canvas. And I'm just doing a straight pour today. And of course I've got to start with some stripes, because as I said, that's what you think of bees, is the black and yellow stripes, right? And I'm well aware we're going to keep dumping paint on top of it, so the stripes are going to disappear very shortly, but we'll know they're there. And actually, I was doing some research on bees. I mean, I know we've all heard of the plight of the bees. Their population is declining in recent years. I read as much as 30% per year, which is quite staggering. That's a massive amount. It's very interesting, though. Some of the facts about bees. Of course, we're all aware they produce honey. And honey is the only product made by an insect that humans will actually consume. And it's estimated that honey has not changed in about 150 million years, just as the bee hasn't changed significantly. There is some argument, some debate on what came first, whether it was flowers or bees. However, whether you think the bee came first or the flower came first, whichever one came first, the other followed very shortly after. So there's our stripes, and unfortunately we're going to go ahead and now just dump some random paint. But as I said, we'll know those stripes were there. And honey is actually considered a near-perfect food. Of course, it's high water content, so if you're consuming honey, you don't need much of anything else. It's got amino acids, building blocks of protein, carbohydrates, essential fatty acids, there's enzymes, vitamins, minerals. You could survive on honey and a little bit of water for a very significant amount of time. And honey never spoils. Now, it may crystallize, but it will not go bad, which is interesting. And I read that honeybees, just in the United States alone, are responsible for 80% of crop pollination, which is extremely incredible. That without the honeybees, to think that crops, all sorts of food crops, would be reduced by 80%, which would be obviously catastrophic. And worldwide, I read it's a little lower. It's between 30 and 40% worldwide, because there are some regions where bees aren't as prevalent, or you don't find them at all. All right. I guess as I'm doing this, there's still plenty of stripes, sort of. Round stripes. I guess you can make that argument. And obviously my canvas is still tilted a little bit. You can see it, the paint creeping up. But that's all right. We're almost done. Almost got it all poured out. And they've actually been doing a lot of studies. Bee venom is apparently quite beneficial. It has a lot of benefits for people with arthritis. And it's one of the extremely few things that is able to attack and damage the AIDS virus. I don't pretend to understand all the mechanics of it. However, it is actually able to poke some holes in the cell wall, thereby not directly killing it fully, but certainly weakening it and making it very susceptible to being killed. And in the hive, bees will have assigned certain functions. And at various times, those functions may change for whatever reasons. And when a bee learns a new task, they've shown that their brains will actually reverse in aging. They'll actually, in essence, get younger. And so they're looking into that for things like dementia, Alzheimer's, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and, all right, cross our fingers and hope we don't, no, it seems okay. I didn't think it would be, in spite of the fact that it is, oh, golly, it stinks. In spite of the fact that it is flammable, you know, it mixed in with the paint, I wouldn't think there'd be enough concentrated to actually do anything. And there's plenty of things you can do to help bees. First and foremost, just let them do their bee thing. You know, if they happen to come around you, they can be a little noisy, but the chance of them stinging you are slim to none. As I'm sure you're aware, if a bee stings you, when it leaves, it actually rips out its guts and it'll kill it in the process. So it's extremely unlikely that it's going to attack you unless it feels threatened. There's an old wives' tale that if a bee gets in your house, it means that you're going to be having a visitor soon. And if you kill that bee, that means it'll be a very unpleasant visitor, so someone you don't want. So if a bee gets in your house, you got to try to catch it live and then bring it outside and let it go. Other ways you can help out with the bees, plant a backyard garden. Plant some wildflowers along the side of your house or wherever. The wildflower seeds tend to be very inexpensive. Even if you just take handfuls of the seeds and just chuck them on your lawn, you are going to have some flowers. You might mow them over, but you'll have them for at least a little while. And the bees will appreciate that. Almost got that last corner. Almost there. And that's close enough. So I'm just going to get the edges here. Let's see. Oh, pin came out. Oh well. I'll deal with that. I prop it up with some push pins. And that one just popped out for some reason. But that's alright. I think I've got all the edges. Alright, yeah, I sure did. Yeah, I'm liking how that looks. I see some cells forming. So let's go ahead and let that dry. Well, let it sit for a half hour or so. And then we'll come back, take a look, and see just what we have. Alright, I'll see you very shortly. Alright, so it's been about a half an hour. I do see some more cells have formed. Let me try to get a close-up. But it did occur to me that cell formation seems to happen easier and more pronounced in lighter colors. And I did add the waterproofing stuff to the black. So I'm definitely going to have to try this again, but try the waterproofing in a lighter color and see what we get. But otherwise, I love how this turned out. Very vibrant, bright colors, nice and crisp. And I suspect some of those cells will pop even a little more as it continues to dry. So that's going to do it for me. I hope you enjoyed what you saw. I sure like doing it. If you did, go ahead and throw a like my way. It'd be greatly appreciated. Go ahead and leave a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe. That way you'll be notified when the next video comes out. And I will see you next time. Oh, and hey, be good to the bees.